Welcome again to the UCM Interface Bible Study Podcast, isang Bible study podcast by Pinoys for Pinoys, hosted by UCM Interface, ang young adults community ng Union Church of Manila. Taglish, conversational, expository/inductive study method. Hindi kami experts, most of us are young professionals, but we do try our best to study context and let Scripture speak for itself. Sa aming mga book studies and special topics, goal namin is to provide you with materials to help you live, work, speak, and serve as a follower of Jesus Christ. Thank you for joining us. At kung trip nyo tong ginagawa namin, please subscribe and share to your friends and family. We just came from our introduction session.
Yes.
And now we still have the same group.
Hi, I'm Phoebe.
Hi, this is James again.
Ako si Rainier.
And Gutch. So now, papasok na tayo sa Daniel 7 and we did like a quick wrap-up of chapters 1 to 6 in the previous season. And now, since we're entering into apocalyptic, it's going to be very different. Ano ulit ang apocalyptic literature and how is it very
Ulitin natin,
different?
apocalyptic literature ay kakaiba dahil hindi siya katulad nung sa prophetic literature kung saan diretsong sinasabi ng Panginoon dun sa kanyang gagamiting tao or yung prophet kung ano yung mensahe niya. Kaya sinasabi ng mga prophets, thus says the Lord. Pero iba naman ang pamamaraan sa apocalyptic literature. Gumagamit ito ng visions, dreams, angels. Dun niya binibigay ng Panginoon yung gusto niyang mensahe na ipaabot. Di lang sa prophet niya, kundi dun sa mga makikinig dun sa prophet. Karanasan nga, ito yung medyo mga events na mangyayari pa in a more distant future.
Yeah, it basically talks about an introduction of the heavenly world and it talks about a coming judgment.
Parang pinaka-final na judgment. Tama, diba?
Pinaka-final na judgment.
And it's like closing the narrative of creation.
Humankind.
Ganun na pagdating dito, happily ever after.
Depende where you are.
Yeah.
If you have
Depende
God
kung
in
kanino
your...
kakampi.
Yeah, I know.
Depende kung kanino kakampi.
This is like a wake-up call for everyone.
Right. Now, there will be an end.
Which we hardly ever really think about. Kasi the way we live our lives, we live as though we are going to live forever.
Forever.
We are not always mindful na anytime we could actually pass away.
So now, we're going to jump into the first chapter of the apocalyptic parts ng Daniel from 7 to 12. So before we jump into the chapter, why don't we go through our reading? 3, 2, 1, and...
Daniel 7. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel saw a dream and visions of his head as he lay in his bed. Then he wrote down the dream and told the sum of the matter. Daniel declared,
I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of heaven were stirring up the great sea. And four great beasts came up out of the sea, different from one another. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. Then as I looked, its wings were plucked off, and it was lifted up from the ground, and made to stand on 2 feet like a man. And the mind of a man was given to it. And behold, another beast, a second one, like a bear. It was raised up on one side. It had 3 ribs in its mouth, between its teeth, and it was told, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I looked, and behold, another, like a leopard, with 4 wings of a bird on its back. And the beast had 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, terrifying and dreadful and exceedingly strong. It had great iron teeth. It devoured and broke in pieces and stamped what was left with its feet. It was different from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another horn, a little one, before which 3 of the first horns were plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. As I looked, thrones were placed, and the Ancient of Days took his seat. His clothing was white as snow, and the hair of his head like pure wool. His throne was fiery flames. Its wheels were burning fire. A stream of fire issued and came out from before him. 1,000,000 served him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The court sat in judgment, and the books were opened. I looked then, because of the sound of the great words that the horn was speaking. And as I looked, the beast was killed, and its body destroyed, and given over to be burned with fire. As for the rest of the beasts, their dominion was taken away, but their lives were prolonged for a season and a time. I saw in the night visions, and behold, with the clouds of heaven there came one like a son of man. And he came to the Ancient of Days, and was presented before him. And to him was given dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom one that shall not be destroyed. As for me, Daniel, my spirit within me was anxious, and the visions of my head alarmed me. I approached one of those who stood there and asked him the truth concerning all this. So he told me and made known to me the interpretation of the things. These 4 great beasts are 4 kings who shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall receive the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, forever and ever. Then I desired to know the truth about the 4th beast, which was different from all the rest, exceedingly terrifying, with its teeth of iron and claws of bronze, and which devoured and broke in pieces and stamped what was left with its feet, and about the 10 horns that were on its head, and the other horn that came up, and before which 3 of them fell. The horn that had eyes and a mouth that spoke great things, and that seemed greater than its companions. As I looked, this horn made war with the saints and prevailed over them, until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given for the saints of the Most High, and the time came when the saints possessed the kingdom. Thus he said, As for the 4th beast, there shall be a 4th kingdom on earth, which shall be different from all the kingdoms. And it shall devour the whole earth, and trample it down, and break it to pieces. As for the 10 horns, out of this kingdom 10 kings shall arise, and another shall arise after them. He shall be different from the former ones, and shall put down 3 kings. He shall speak words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and shall think to change the times and the law, and they shall be given into his hand. For a time, times, and half a time. But the court shall sit in judgment, and his dominion shall be taken away, to be consumed and destroyed to the end. And the kingdom, and the dominion, and the greatness of the kingdoms under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. His kingdom shall be an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Here is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my thoughts greatly alarmed me, and my color changed. But I kept the matter in my heart.
The 4 beasts. Puro kahayupan itong aralin natin ngayon.
Sige, Rainier, ano ang ating chunks of discussion?
Meron tayong ilang segments na tutuunan ng pansin dito. Una yung verses 1 to 8. Dito ipapakita sa atin yung 4 na beasts.
Yeah.
Okay? Tapos sa 9 to 14, meron ding magandang vision na ipinakita kay Daniel dito. Sa halip na beast-like yung description, human-like.
Yeah, the
yung
Son of
description.
Man.
Son of Man, tsaka Ancient of Days.
And then the last,
Binigay sa atin kasi dito yung interpretation kung ano nga ba yung vision na yun about the beasts.
buti na lang, ano?
Oo.
I know, right?
Medyo wild eh.
Kaya lang, kahit ibinigay na, nakakalito pa rin. Hindi pa rin maintindihan. Okay.
Hindi siya talaga
Okay,
So this is 15 to 28.
15 to 28. Pero ang magandang pinakita kasi dito sa last segment na ito is the triumph of Yahweh over evil. Na ang mga kingdoms o yung mga beasts na ito, lahat ay may katapusan. Salamat. Okay.
So let's go for verses 1 to 8.
Right. Maganda tingnan natin yung chronological marker dito sa verse 1. Kasi
Yes.
kailan ba nangyari itong event na ito?
Sige.
So, in the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon.
Okay. Tapos na dapat yung kwento kay
Oo.
Belshazzar, di ba?
Yes.
So bumalik
Kasi
na naman tayo.
Persians and Medes na dapat eh. Di ba sa chapter 6?
Yeah,
di ba?
na-dethrone na siya eh.
Na-dethrone na, wala na. Pero biglang, bumalik tayo sa first year daw
Right.
ng
Reign ni
paghahari ni
Belshazzar.
So
Tingnan
ilang
natin.
taon na kaya si Daniel dito?
80s.
Oh, early 80s. Basta somewhere
Lolo na siya.
medyo lolo
Ibang
talaga.
klase, ang tanda-tanda na, naglilingkod pa rin sa panibagong empire. No? Oh, so he was around maybe 83 years old kung tama yung kwenta.
Okay.
At dito pa niya natanggap ang isang vision. Di ba dito si Daniel nakahiga lang siya dyan eh, no? Oo. nagno-notes pa siya kung ano yung mga nakikita niya, di ba?
Right.
Tignan na natin kung ano tong vision na nakita niya.
First, he saw four winds stirring up.
Merong
The
four
Great Sea,
winds.
yeah.
Paano yung behavior?
They say that normally wind just flows in one direction. So the idea of four winds stirring up tells you that it's
Parang
really...
nagbabanggaan.
Oo, parang ganyan.
Nagbabanggaan
Parang,
sila.
parang may storm of some sort.
Right,
Oo, parang
nagbabanggaan.
ganyan. Oo.
Balikan natin tong directions ng winds kasi merong four, north, south, east, west yan eh. Pero dun sa Bible kasi, pag sinabi mo yung four winds, it always represents God's judgment. May mga references tayo dyan sa Revelation 7:1, even possibly Zechariah 6:5. So yun ang dapat nating tandaan. Kaya dito pa lang, sa pagbungad pa lang, alam natin, sinabi na, binigay na kay Daniel na, oh, well, this is about God's judgment.
Okay. So,
Okay.
chaotic vision.
It's
Yes.
very chaotic.
Yeah.
At may epekto to dun sa...
Sea.
Ano kayang sea ito in particular?
The text doesn't really state, although in Near Eastern tradition kasi, the seas are usually associated with mythological monsters or
Doon
forces
galing.
of chaos.
Oo,
Kaya
doon galing yung masama.
Kaya in the following verse, we see the four creatures coming out of
Right.
the
oo.
sea.
Tingnan nga natin magkaroon pa tayo ng ibang biblical reference kasi tama yung sinabi ni Phoebe na itong dagat symbolizes turbulence or
Chaos.
sinful humanity.
Yeah.
Tingnan natin yung Revelation chapter 17, verse 1 and then verse 5.
17:1, one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls came and said to me, "Come, I will show you the punishment of the great prostitute who sits by many waters."
Okay. And then sa 5, and on her forehead was written a name of mystery, Babylon the Great, mother of prostitutes and of earth's abominations.
Ang gusto ng pakita natin dito, it represents saan siya galing?
From the sea.
From the sea. Doon nang galing yung kasamaan.
Yung great
Oo.
prostitute.
Sa Isaiah rin, tingnan natin, Isaiah 17:12-13.
Woe to the many nations that rage. They rage like the raging sea. Woe to the peoples who roar. They roar like the roaring great waters. Although the peoples roar like the roar of surging waters, when he rebukes them they flee. Far away, driven before the wind like chaff. On the hills like tumbleweed before a gale.
Okay.
Okay.
Nations.
I think nations. So
Nations
multitudes
na,
of people.
anong klase, anong character?
Turbulent, rebellious against God.
Oh, yan.
Violent.
Yan. Tama ka, Phoebe, itong symbolism ng sea. Parang meron laging anticipation of something evil. Ano pa yung nakita?
So lumabas na yung four na monsters.
Meron ng
Parang Godzilla,
apat
no?
Ito, may apat na beasts.
Magkakaiba daw siya.
Oo, na magkakaiba daw ito.
So
ano
this
yung
is,
una?
verse
Ano yung
3.
unang description?
Verse 4.
The first was like a lion, and it had the wings of an eagle.
And then, as
Ano
it
nangyari?
looked, its wings were plucked off.
Aha.
And it was lifted up from the ground and made to stand on 2 feet like
Natanggal.
a man.
Oo. Tapos, anong nangyari na lang sa kanya? Tumayo na lang
Tumayo,
siya. Parang lang siya
and
isang tao.
The mind of a man was given to it. Nakita ko dito is it was plucked off. Mind of a man was given to it. There was an external force that was doing something to this beast.
Oh, kaya na-reduce siya, no? Tapos sunod dyan, meron pa siyang isang nakitang pangalawa.
Look like a bear.
Parang bear. Oo.
Kagat-kagat, tatlong ribs.
Tsaka yung raised up on one side.
Oh,
Interesting.
hindi pantay, no?
Pantay.
Hindi symmetrical yung katawan niya.
Yeah.
Tapos, parang meron pa siyang dental issues.
Get
Parang
up and
merong
eat your
tinga.
fill.
Ribs daw.
It had 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth.
Oh, malaki-laking tinga.
Sabihin malaki yung teeth niya.
Kasi may nakasingit eh.
Oo,
Tatlong
diba?
ribs.
Parang-
Tsaka, bakit ribs?
Tapos
Yeah.
sabi, it was told, arise, devour much flesh.
Oo.
Yan.
Sige, lamon lang.
Yan.
Lamon ka lang.
Kain lang. Samgip
Oo,
lang.
di ba?
Medyo nakakatakot. Binigyan siya ng
Sumasamgip siya.
authority. No? Sige,
Oo nga.
tumayo ka dyan. Kainin mo
Sige,
sila lahat.
lamon lang.
Baka
Kaya
nasa
mo yan.
mabusog ka. Oh my
Oo,
gosh.
Kung may kabusugan ka pa. Di ba? Oo.
Kung meron.
So kung human ka near it, parang tatakbo ka.
Oo, makakatakot
Kain ka lang.
Ito pa, meron na naman isang napaka-weird na beast na nakita.
Ito na, si number 3.
Leopard. Okay.
With 4 wings of a
Uy.
bird on its back.
Hindi lang dalawa.
Apat.
Yeah,
Apat ang pakpak.
Medyo ano nga eh, medyo maganda yung dating sa akin nito.
Hindi ako nagagandahan kasi apat ang ulo eh.
Oo, grabe, no?
Leopard. Oo nga, yun. Actually, those that I'm
Beast
gonna
had 4
point
heads.
out. That is so weird.
Apat yung ulo.
Yeah, a leopard with
Tapos
4
leopard
heads.
siya, tapos may pakpak. At ito, kung yung bear, binigyan ng authority, sige, lumamong ka. Ito naman,
Dominion.
oo,
Had great authority to rule.
medyo
Given authority to rule.
makapangyarihan siya talaga.
Ayan. So, verse 6 yan. So, now on the last
Ito
one.
na, ito na yung pang-apat.
Oh,
Ito
ito
sa
yung-
lahat.
The most
Malagadzilla.
terrifying.
Ah.
yeah.
So verse 7, after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast,
Yeah.
terrifying and dreadful and exceedingly strong. It had great iron teeth, devoured and broke in pieces, and stamped what was left with its feet. Grabe, sobrang violent, ano? Tapos different from all the beasts that were before it. And it had 10 horns.
It doesn't give us an idea of what kind of animal it is,
Ito nga,
diba?
ito yung challenge dun kay Daniel. At least dun sa tatlong nauna, meron siyang zoological category
Yeah,
na mukhang ganito siya.
Yeah. Right.
Mukhang ganito siya.
Oo.
Pero yung pang-apat,
Wala siyang
Wala
katulad.
talaga.
wala na siyang magamit na language to describe kung ano yung magmamatch dun sa reality, sa real world. Wala siya nakita ganun.
Para bang to
Walang
illustrate
category.
that there's no animal on earth that could compare to
Oo.
this
Right.
Okay.
terrifying beast.
Looking at the first three, hindi siya ginamitan ng terrifying, frightening, wala. It's just a purely description na anong itsura niya.
And then what it did. I consider the horns. Pag-isipan pa lang niya yung horns. Tapos behold, merong another horn, a little one, before which 3 of the first horns were plucked up by the roots. Nawala yung tatlo, napalitan ng
Isa. So,
yung isang maliit.
8 na lang sila.
Yeah, and behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things.
Grabe din tong horn na to, no? Maliit lang siya, pero na-dislodge na yung tatlo. Marami pa siyang mata.
Oh, grabe.
Strange.
That's up to verse 8. Doon na tayo sa second segment, which is 9 to 14.
Oh.
So, nagkaroon tayo ng shift of imagery from animals to human.
Human-like description. Ano? Kasi yung nauna, mga hybrid animals or hybrid beasts.
Yeah.
Naging iba yung focus eh. This is now the divine or the heavenly realm. Pero nga, yung description, parang human being or human-like. Pero alam natin, hindi naman tao. Ito yung tanong natin, bakit kaya dito sa description, mas human-like versus dun sa mga beasts na hybrid animals na mga weird, very strange. Bakit kaya nagkaroon ng kakaibang basihan ng description dito?
To-discuss natin even from chapter 4 of how yung beast and human imagery, even with Nebuchadnezzar, represents some sort of civility, rationality, and then pag naging beast, parang pride and evil.
Ang
Okay.
sinasabi mo ba is that because humans are made in the image of God?
Exactly. Genesis 1:27.
Yeah. Sa seed.
Kaya kumbaga hint ito na divine na ang pinag-uusapan dito. Hindi na ito yung mga masasama. Kasi nga Genesis 1:27 sinabi that man is made in the likeness of God.
Yeah.
So symbolism lang ito. Tandaan natin itong si Daniel, habang nagdo-notes siya dun sa mga nakikita niya, ang ginagamit niyang language, yung accessible lang sa kanya.
Yes.
Siguro kung tayo nag-record niyan ngayon,
Iba na siguro yung
oo,
descriptions.
mukhang iba na. Baka mga isipin ko yung mga animals.
Yung mga napapanood natin sa movies.
Parang mga,
Kaya mga-
anime o something. Mga
yeah,
ganun na yung
yeah.
may isip ko.
Wala naman silang access sa Netflix, di ba?
Wala. Okay.
True.
Tapos, iba yung image na nakita natin dito. No? It's human-like. Sige, tingnan natin yung detalye ng figures na nakita niya. At sino kaya ito? Who are these two figures?
So the first part from 9 to 11, as I looked, thrones were placed, and the Ancient of Days took his seat. His clothing was white as snow, hair of his head like pure wool. Throne was fiery flames, its wheels were burning fire. So yung thrones may wheels, diba? Stream of fire issued and came out from before him. Thousands and thousands served him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him, and the court sat in judgment, and the books were opened. Parang
Ano ba itong nakita
grand,
niya?
ano?
Oo. At saka bakit Ancient of Days yung title?
Even before time began, he was already there.
Sino lang ito?
Si God lang.
Si God lang.
Si Yahweh lang talaga
Yeah.
yung pwedeng tinutukoy dito. That even before time began.
To
Yes.
differentiate from the pantheon of gods of the people who he was talking to.
Kasi most likely, yung tinutukoy sa beasts, that's an earthly realm. May simula at may katapusan yan. Pero pagpasok na natin dito sa heavenly or divine realm na ito, Ancient of Days, ito yung walang
Katapusan.
walang
Walang beginning and end.
walang simula, walang
Right.
katapusan.
Has been there from the very beginning.
Oo, hindi kasi siya nasasaklawan ng time
Yeah.
and space.
Nakikita natin dito yung character ni God, yung assurance of Him being everlasting.
Yeah. And not just that, he took a seat. After all these horrible images, he's like, I'm gonna take a seat
Okay,
here.
yeah.
Oo.
He's unfazed.
Tingnan nyo, yung description sa kanya kasi puting-puti. Lahat puting-puting-puti.
Yeah.
Ano kaya ang ibig sabihin nun?
Holy?
Mukha nga no, na pure. No hint of anything
No blemish.
evil. No blemish. Very pure.
Actually, naisip ko dito si Gandalf. Pwede ko ba sabihin yun?
Agree.
Hindi yung early
the
Gandalf,
second
pero yung,
Gandalf.
The
level up.
yung level up na Gandalf.
Level up na ka.
Level up.
Okay. At meron pang
Fiery.
Nakakatakot yung contrast. Kasi white na white ka Tapos
Tapos
siguro
may apoy.
red siguro yung apoy, no? Kasi
Oo,
fiery.
oo. At may wheels. No?
I know, right? Saan ka nakakita ng throne na may wheels?
Oo nga eh.
Pero siguro nga, lack of better description ni Daniel during sa time niya.
Oo. Ano nakikita niyo sa mga descriptions na to?
Ang malinaw sa akin sa nakikita ko sa picture is that the authority, yung fire, yung flame, saan ba madalas ginagamit yan? Is for destruction of
Judgment, I
Judgment.
think. Tsaka yung wrath of God on evil.
Parang mas glorious yung description niya kaysa sa yung description ng mga monsters.
Right.
Agree.
Although meron ka pa rin mararamdamang hindi naman kasi siya sweet and cute.
Hindi
Hindi
nga,
ganun
oo.
contrast dun sa
Parang
animals eh.
mapapaano kayo respeto. Parang gano'n. Parang
Yan.
iba to.
Oo.
Tapos parang sinuportahan pa siya ng 10,000 times 10,000 na nandoon.
I think maybe he was using language to describe how
A multitude,
infinite.
oo.
Kasi kaysa countless.
Yeah.
Countless, marami lang. Parang ganun. Pero ito, thousands
Yeah.
times thousands. Parang
And they were
ganun.
attending to the Ancient of Days. So naisip ko, like, ba yung mga kings, di ba kung may mga alipore siya, mabibilang mo sa isang kamay. Ganyan, no?
Pero
Yung
ito
nag-attend
ang
sa kanya.
dami-dami.
Yes,
Oo.
tens of thousands.
And the books were
Opened.
open.
Ay, kakatakot. Parang Phoebe, ito yung mga ginawa mo nang nabubuhay ka sa mundo.
Time to give an account.
Malinaw
Wag po,
din
wag
na
po.
merong tono ng judgment
Yes,
din
yes.
dito.
Oo.
Diba? Kasi nga, yung simula pa lang, dahil dun sa presence ng four winds, judgment ang symbolism nun. Dito rin, meron din.
Yeah.
Oo.
And it wasn't just anybody who was pronouncing the judgment. It was the ruler of all rulers,
Right.
the one with all authority.
Ang isang napansin ko lang dito, di ba, from 1 to 8, images of fear and beasts and ganyan. And then, paggrabe ng paggrabe, parang ganun eh. Kung yung music, maakyat, nag-crescendo. Pagkati pa yung dulo, yung isang beast na hindi ko ma-describe, tapos may 10 horns, tapos lumbas dito, tapos ang dami yung sinasabi. Ito na. And then biglang cut, Ancient of Days, Judgment. Right at the peak nung nakakatakot na you're thinking na ito na siya.
Oh, may build up eh.
Oy, build up, and then biglang pinutol na lang nung... I was expecting na, behold, the horn.
Oo nga, kasi
Ay.
nag-crescendo na eh.
Oh, tapos biglang Ancient of
Biglang,
Days,
oops,
bang.
rest.
and then yung first thing na ginawa niya is umupo.
It is as though in-establish niya yung authority ng Ancient of Days.
Yeah.
Parang ito yung apat na monsters. Ito yung mga, ganito sila ka-terrifying. Ganito yung kaya nilang gawin. Pero heto ang Ancient of Days.
Yeah, he's
Sitting
chill.
before the throne and he's being attended to.
Pero may pumapil eh. May continuation yung rebellion. So verse
Right.
11.
Oh, yan na.
Then I continued to watch because of the boastful words the horn was speaking. I kept looking until the beast was slain and its body destroyed and thrown into the blazing fire.
Ang ganda nun ng vision. Ancient of Days. Pero meron pa rin dun sa background. Nagpupumilit.
Ayun, nasampulan.
Oh, yan tuloy. Parang kumuha ng fly swatter, plak. Ganun.
Grabe yung audacity, no? Despite the glorious imagery, the horn would have the audacity to speak against the Ancient of Days.
Oo.
Grabing yabang.
Hindi talaga mapigilan.
Grabing laki ng ulo at bilib sa sarili.
Again, back to the symbolism dun sa chapter 4 with beasts. Pride turns into beasts. Parang ganyan. Pero ito, you have imagery of super beasts. So it's
Yeah.
like super pride.
Oo nga.
Tingnan niyo sa verse 12. Pati rin naman yung iba.
As for the rest of the beasts,
Nawalan din sila ng authority.
their dominion was taken away, but their lives...
Although they were allowed to live
yeah, for a
For-
season and a time.
For a period of time.
for a period of time. Talagang mayroong katapusan pa rin. Hindi talaga sila magtatagal. Palagay ko kailangan mabigyan ng assurance din si Daniel dito na nakakatakot pero ito
I'm
papasok
still in
ako.
control.
Tingnan mo, magsusubok pa rin sila. They will try very, very hard. Pero I assure you, may katapusan silang lahat. Kaya ang ganda ng pasok ng Ancient of Days eh. Very meaningful ito para sa isang exile na katulad ni Daniel. Kasi nandun siya sa loob nun eh. Nawi-witness niya rather yung mga atrocities at mga kasamaan na nakikita niya. Andun siya sa kalagitnaan nun. Tapos biglang Ancient of Days. Meron pang mas powerful sa mga yan. At malalaman natin later kung sino-sino tong mga beasts na to. Verses 13 and 14. Pinakagusto ko talagang verses dito sa buong libro ni Daniel.
Yeah.
Parang ito sa akin yung central, pivotal point ng buong Daniel.
Yeah.
Tingnan natin to.
In my vision at night I looked, and there before me was one like a son of man, coming with the clouds of heaven. He approached the Ancient of Days and was led into his presence. He was given authority, glory, and sovereign power. All nations and peoples of every language worshipped him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion that will not pass away, and his kingdom is one that will never be destroyed.
Right?
Wow.
Sinabi dito sa vision na nakita niya, this is like a son
Of
of
Man.
Ito naman kasing Son of Man na to, title na yan. Palagi naman talagang ginagamit yan sa Old Testament, sa Ezekiel, etc., etc. And it would refer to a human being, the son of a human being. Pero kasi dito, likeness lang. Parang Son of Man. Pero kung titingnan pa natin yung buong description, parang nakasakay sa clouds. Pero anong direksyon?
Papunta sa Ancient of Days.
Ascending to the Ancient of Days. At ano ang nangyari?
Power was given to him.
Yeah. Dominion, glory, a kingdom.
Now, this is a very strange thing, especially for monotheists, katulad ng mga Jews. Sino tong Son of Man dito? Kasi ano ba to? Tao lang talaga.
Pero it's like a son of man.
Like a son of man.
So it looks like a man.
Oo,
but
it
it's
looks like a man. Pero binigyan ng
dominion,
authority,
power
glory.
over all
At ano
languages.
pa yung ginawa ng mga tao and the nations?
They worshipped him.
Naging object of worship. Wait a minute. Akala ko ba si Yahweh ang God? And then you have another being who's also worshipped. Tapos, kung tao talaga to, imposible. Kasi yung dominion niya will last forever and ever.
Interesting tong verse 14 kasi ito rin yung sort of sinasabi ni Nebuchadnezzar and ni Darius, di ba? Given dominion, glory, and a kingdom. Dominion is an everlasting.
But they were specifically referring to
Yahweh.
To Yahweh.
Kaya nga eh.
Kaya ito, strange. Maganda ma-identify natin kung sino nga ba ito. Gusto natin malaman yung identity ng Son of Man. Ngayon, si Jesus, yung kanyang self-identification. Hindi
Son
naman niya
of Man.
talaga ginamit sa sarili niya yung word na Christ. Hindi naman talaga. Hindi naman talaga yung pinaka-self-identification niya. Ang matinding reference na ginamit niya sa Son of Man ay para sa sarili niya. Saan niya ginamit? Sa Gospel of Mark. Ito, sa Mark chapter 14.
Is it in the trial?
Sa trial. Oo.
So dito na tayo sa 62.
Ito yung trial niya.
Oh, dinala na siya doon.
He was in front of the high priest. High priest was asking, "Are you the Messiah, the
yes.
Son of the Blessed One?"
And Jesus said, I am, and you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power and coming with the clouds of heaven.
Wow.
Ginamit niya.
Exactly. Ni-reference niya yung
Daniel 7:13.
Agree.
Paano niya in-identify ang sarili niya? Ako yung tinutukoy dito ni Daniel.
Yeah.
Ngayon, kung talagang Son of Man simply means a son of a human being, tignan natin yung naging response nung mga religious leaders nung narinig nilang ito na sinabi ni Jesus.
So 63 onwards.
The high priest tore his clothes. Why do we need any more witnesses? He asked.
You have heard the blasphemy. Blasphemy daw yun. Bakit?
He's basically identifying himself as God.
Yun.
Yes.
So malinaw, itong tinutukoy ni Daniel, sinabi ni Jesus, ako yan. Ngayon, kadalasan, naghahanap tayo ng Bible verses na sabi, saan kaya meron ditong Bible verse na sinabi ni mismo ni Jesus yung statement na I am God? Actually, wala ka mahanap talaga. Pag sasabihin na iba, kung wala namang mahanap na ganong statement, hindi nga Diyos si Jesus kasi he never said he was God. Pero paano natin masasabi that he actually said it?
Because the people understood him to mean that he was claiming to be God by referencing Daniel.
Right. Ang mahalaga kung sino yung audience niya.
Yes,
Yes.
how they understood him.
Right. Yun ang mahalaga doon.
Kasi I think even in their time, the emperors, they say na
I'm God.
they're God. Everybody says that. Pero to say, I am the Son of Man, to these people na alam
Ang
nila kung ano yung reference na yan
Daniel.
eh. Oo.
Alam
Iba
nila.
yung pagkakaintindi nila
Oo.
sa pagkakasabi.
Yeah.
Kaya ang mahalaga dito, although Jesus never said, I am God, dito, klarong-klaro that he said it because his audience understood it.
him.
So, he's claiming to be God. Kaya nga nagalit yung...
Mga
Oo.
parse ba
Right.
yun?
Oo.
At ang maganda pa dito, when he quoted it, ano yung
Coming with the clouds of heaven.
coming with the clouds of heaven, papunta sa
Ancient of Days.
Ancient of Days. Kung titingnan mo yun sa life and ministry ni Jesus, kailan nangyari ito?
Ascension.
Ascension. Dito na fulfill lahat. Nung pag-ascend na ni Jesus sa kalangitan, naging hari na siya talaga. At ito yung hari na wawasak sa lahat ng kasamaan ng mga beasts na yan.
Yeah.
He's above.
Sa tingin ko lang ito yung sentro ng Daniel. Kasi pinakita na dito kung sino talaga ang sovereign. Ni-reveal na yung identity nung totoong hari. Kasi ang daming hari-harian eh. Okay.
Actually, maraming tao nagsasabi yung parang, yeah, Jesus was like this wise man who taught us to love each other and be nice. But you have statements like this, crazy talaga siya, unless...
It's a self-identification.
Oh. I forgot kung sino yung nagsabi. One of
C.S.
the...
Lewis yata.
He's either...
C.S. Lewis.
A liar or a lunatic.
He's either a liar, a lunatic, or he's
Or really
really
God. Those are the only options.
Yeah, yun lang yung options. Hindi pwedeng nice guy, whatever, di ba?
Now, punta na tayo dun sa interpretation ng dream tungkol dun sa mga beasts.
So we are now on 15
15 onwards.
28.
Tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung vision niya, nagno-note-taking pa din siya. At dito, meron siyang kinausap.
He approached one of those standing there and asked him the meaning of
Hindi
all
mo na
this.
na-identify sa atin kung sino yun. But there's this being na kinausap niya. And then he asked for the interpretation.
meaning.
Okay, for the
Yeah.
meaning of what he saw. Nilinaw agad nung kung sino man yung nakatayo doon. Ang sabi niya, yung 4 great beasts in verse 17 are
4 kings that will rise from the earth, but the holy people of the Most High will receive the kingdom and will possess it forever. Yes, forever and ever.
parang binigyan agad ng gist.
Di man lang niya flinesh out.
Hindi.
Hindi na marunong magkwento.
Parang thanks ha, thanks. Ganun eh. Hindi mo ba nakita kung gaano ako nabahala sa mga visions? So, yan lang yung sasabihin mo sa akin.
Okay, kaya sinabi agad na
4 kings.
4 kings, magiging makapangyarihan, pero ang totoong magtatagal
Ay, the holy people of
are
the
the holy
Most High.
people.
Right.
Siguro hindi talaga na-satisfy si Daniel kasi nagtanong pa siya ulit eh. Nangulit pa rin siya.
Di-
Try to know the
Di
truth
bale-
about the 4th beast.
O nga, di bale na yung 3 beast.
Give me more details, man!
Oo. Pero bago natin puntahan yung interpretation sa 4th beast, tignan natin yung traditional view kung
Yes.
paano nila tiningnan itong tatlo.
Sige,
4
game.
kings.
Oo. Ano nga ba yan?
Itong mga 4 beasts na to, related siya dun sa Daniel 2 rin.
Oo.
Diba? Yung statue. And para sa ating listeners, kung hindi nyo pa narinig yung Daniel 2, okay din
Balikan
siya na
nyo.
balikan nyo na lang din. Pero merong 4 segments yung image
Statue.
that is representative of
Different kingdoms.
oh.
Kung sinabi na ito yung 4 kings, sino-sino kaya ang tinutukoy?
So the first one is yung lion na merong eagle's wings.
Traditionally, biblical scholars would say that it seems to represent the Babylonian Empire because in Assyro-Babylonian art, there are winged lions.
This could be representative of not just Babylon, but Nebuchadnezzar. Kasi, diba,
Kasi
yung...
was given a human mind.
So wings were plucked off, meaning natanggalan ng capability and then was given a mind of a man.
man.
It was an external force doing this to this beast. I think it's Nebuchadnezzar. Yung nangyari sa kanya na naging beast siya. And then bigyan siya ng mind of a man. Sa dulo, ganun yung nangyari sa kanya. Chapter 4, di ba?
Oh.
Agree.
It's true.
Diba?
Okay, saan na tayo?
The second beast.
monster.
Like a bear, raised up on one side, may 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth.
They would associate that with the Median Empire.
Medes and Persians eh.
Yeah, kasi they played a role in the Babylonian conquest of the Assyrians in Nineveh. And then later, the Median Empire was incorporated into the Persian Empire.
Into the
Oo.
Persian Empire.
Oh.
Naging
Kasi-
part siya.
Kasi mahina siyang, ito yung weaker partner dun sa kingdom. Kaya nga hindi symmetrical yung katawan ng itong bear na to eh.
There's a verse before, now, O king, establish the injunction and sign the document so that it cannot be changed according to the law of the Medes and the Persians.
Okay.
Diba?
So siguro by the time na-incorporate na yung Median Empire sa Persian Empire.
Oh, so ito siguro yung why it was on its side.
Oo.
Tapos may reference siya nung yung 3 ribs on its teeth ba yun?
Oo.
Oo, yeah. Some biblical scholars would say that it seems to signify ravenous appetite for booty. Sobra kang matakaw, tininga ka ng malaki.
Gra-
Diba?
Anong klaseng dental floss ang gagamitin dyan? Ano? Susuko yung dentista sa prophylaxis dyan.
Pero maganda yung point mo na yung hunger niya,
Ganun na lang.
yung desire niya to feast,
Yeah.
and also yung, I think, violence even.
Maybe
Devour much flesh.
Conquer.
Siguro sobrang...
Walang pakundangan.
Para siguro yung mga resources ng mga nations na
Everything.
occupy. Kukunin ko yan
Yeah.
lahat. Ganun siyang
Oo.
katakaw.
Siguro.
Oo,
Sobrang mangurakot.
Siyempre sasakupin niya yung ibang mga nations.
Yeah.
I-exploit niya lahat, mga tao, natural resources. Ganun siyang kasakim.
And then the next one, the third one, the
ito.
leopard with 4 wings and also 4 heads.
Kasi tingnan nyo ha, leopard na may 4 wings. No? Ang leopard, mabilis yan eh.
Mabilis.
Known
Yes.
for speed.
Mas mabilis pa kung
May pakpak pa siya.
oh.
Ganun siyang kabilis.
Yes.
May dalawang views dito. One is, it's about the Persians, and the other one,
To
it
the
may refer
Greek
to the Greek
Empire.
Empire. Now, we'll discuss the 2 views, and then we'll tell you guys kung ano yung
Where we are
tingin namin,
leaning.
kung nasaan kami. Phoebe, para dun sa Persia.
So some biblical scholars think that the 3rd beast refers to the Persian Empire because of the 4 wings kings, which they think alludes to yung rapidity ng conquest ng rule ni Cyrus.
Okay.
Ganun. And then they would associate the four heads as referencing yung Persia's dominion in all directions, or the four kings of Persia, which were mentioned in Ezra 1:1, Ezra 4, 6, and 7, and Nehemiah.
Okay. Para naman sa Greek.
Ang description is a leopard, tapos may 4 na pakpak. It's a description of how fast the empire of Alexander the Great spread. Mabilis yung spread at maiksi naman yung kanyang buhay. Kasi he died around 32 or maybe 33 years old. Nung namatay siya, sino ang papalit sa kanya?
Yung
Diba?
dalawang anak niya, pinatay.
Supposedly.
Pinagpapatay din yung dalawang anak niya. So nahati lang naman yung kingdom into 4.
Four
Kasi
gen-
hinati dun sa kanyang 4 generals.
Yeah.
Which could be
The four.
the 4 heads.
Oo.
So leopard is fast. 4 wings is even faster.
Right.
And maybe, I'm sure the 4 generals had a part in that.
Agree.
And then, nung namatay siya, naiwan doon sa 4 general, 4 heads.
If we're going to look at history, hindi ba nung namatay si Alexander, the Greek Empire was divided into 4. Yun nga, yung 4 generals.
Maaring ganun. So may iba-ibang views dyan.
We're just presenting what we researched. Some of us have our own
Leanings.
Our leanings. But now,
Yeah, the 4 beasts.
si Godzilla.
Yeah.
Ito, depending on what you think is the third beast, will also affect kung ano yung fourth
Oo,
beast,
fourth
diba?
beast.
Para sa
oo.
inyo.
So ano yung fourth beast dun sa interpretation kung Persia siya?
Kung Persia siya, yung fourth beast, they say, is the empire of Alexander the Great. So yung 10 horns would represent the line of rulers of the Seleucid dynasty, which ruled Syria after the death of Alexander the Great.
Okay.
For Seleucid kings kasi, they had coins that were decorated with horns, which were symbols of divine power, and so they were thinking na baka.
Baka nga yun. oo.
Baka sila yun dahil sa
It
horns.
would also make sense. Kasi nga itong later on si Antiochus Epiphanes, Seleucid king.
Oo nga.
Siya yung later on, yung babanggitin yung kung anong ginawa niya sa temple.
Oh, so anong chapter yun?
Mamaya pa yun. Abangan.
Sige, abangan. So that's one interpretation. Kung yung third ay Greeks, yung fourth will be
Roman Empire.
Roman Empire.
Empire.
Oh, it could be the Roman Empire kasi may mention dito about iron, great iron teeth, devoured, broken pieces, stamped what was left with its feet. And dun sa image sa second chapter, yung iron is about Rome. And then iron mixed with clay pa. Nagkahalo-halo na. That's the second perspective here. So now, tuloy tayo. Balik na tayo dito sa verse 19. Desire to know the truth about the fourth beast, which was different from all the rest.
The fact na itong fourth beast, wala man lang zoological category. Hindi nga niya maihambing ito sa kahit anong
An
existing animal. Ano kaya ang ibig sabihin?
Grabing evil.
Oo. Mukhang malala itong king na ito o itong superpower na ito. Okay?
Maybe like nothing that Daniel has seen.
Tapos, mayabang. Sabi niya, may 10 horns.
Yeah,
may
the
lumabas pa dun sa horn na yon, before which 3 of them fell.
So may internal problems pa.
Kung ano pang nangyayari sa loob. At itong horn na ito, aawayin niya yung holy people.
Ancient of days.
Right ba? Yung holy
Ayaw nga
people.
yung holy
Oo.
people of the Most
Oo,
High.
at tatalunin pa niya. Pero papasok yung Ancient of Days.
Oh, so this is now
Verse 22.
22 na.
And will pronounce judgment. And yung judgment na to will be in favor of the holy people. So parang pinakita nga na nakakatakot talaga tong beast na to. Pero alam nyo, meron siyang hangganan. Mawawakasan din siya.
Yung sa akin kasi, ito yung perspective ko lang. 22, until the Ancient of Days came, judgment was given for the saints of the Most High, and the saints possessed the kingdom. Parang ending na to eh. There's a fourth beast, and then there's this unexplained time frame in the middle before an ending.
Ito yung isang nature din ng prophecy or
Apocalyptic.
apocalyptic literature na merong conflation ng time.
You don't really know how many years or decades or centuries are involved.
Parang halimbawa ganito yan. May nakikita ako dito sa harapan ko, peak ng isang bundok. At dun pa, may susunod pang isang peak ng isang bundok. 2 peaks ang nakikita ko. Pero may distansya yan, hindi ko alam.
Alam
Pero
ko yan.
nakikita ko na pareho.
Oh, alam ko yan eh. Kasi kung umakit kami na bundok, tapos parang, ayun na, 5 minutes na lang oh. Pero
Tagal pa
lapit
pala.
na yan eh. Oh. Ayan na eh, lapit na eh.
Oo. Pero
Tagal
hindi.
pa lang.
2 oras pa pala yun, no? Tapos pagdating doon, 5 oras pa pala yung isa pa.
Kaya ganun yung nature ng mga visions na to. Meron ka nang nakikitang parang 2 events nakikita mo na siya ng sabay.
It seems as though one after the other, pero
hindi
actually
pala.
hindi.
Ang layo-layo pa ng distansya ng bawat isa.
It could be the fourth beast and the little horn, yung distance niya could not be as one after the other.
Pero
And
pwede rin
the,
kasi
and the
nangyari rin
Most
siya nung
High.
time na yun eh.
Oo.
Pwede rin naman eh. Na
More
meron
yung-
pa ito.
More yung reign ng Most High.
Pero
ng
itong
people of
little
the
horn na
Most
to,
High.
meron pa siyang significance in the future.
Yeah.
Pwede rin yan. Actually, may kita natin yan eh. Pagdating mo na dun sa mga bandang chapter 11, 12, yung mahirap din siyang intindihin.
Yung sa notes ng verse 20 to 21 dun sa little horn, the little horn that became greater than others, they would say that it's where the persecution of Antiochus Epiphanes begins. Depende kung saan ka nanggagaling sa interpretation.
Totoo yun, totoo yun.
And I think yun yung direction that we're gonna
Yun
take.
yung the abomination that caused desolation. Patikim lang yan. Abangan nyo.
Sige,
Okay.
Sana tayo. 23.
Yeah.
Fourth beast, there shall be a fourth kingdom on earth, which shall be different from all the kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth. Trample it down, break it to pieces. Tapos yung 10 horns. Out of this kingdom, 10 kings will arise. Another shall arise after them. He shall be different from the former ones. Put down 3 kings, and shall speak words against the Most High. Shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and shall think to change the times and the law. And they shall be given into his hand for a time, times, and half a time.
Ano nga yung description sa kanya? Kasi medyo masahol na to eh. Parang lahat na lang wawasakin niya. Lahat na lang sasakupin niya.
Yeah.
Ang nakikita ko dito yung di lang siya destructive. Very greedy.
Parang nagsasenter yung kanyang animosity towards God, and then he will oppress his holy people. This particular
Specifically,
people. Yes.
God's people.
Yes.
He shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
Napagod na sila sa sa oppression
Yung
nito.
hirap na long
Right.
term eh.
Kaya pag pinakita sa akin to, matatakot ako sa mga makikita ko eh. Yung pagdadaanan ng mga holy people, kung ano-ano ito.
How horrible siguro, no? To be alive and live through this time.
Something like that. Oo. Ito magandang intindihin kung anong ibig sabihin itong time, times, and half a time. Meron akong nakitang isang magandang interpretation na parang sinabi yung whoever this king was will get off to a very fast start for a time. Tapos times, because it seemed like it will last forever.
And then biglang,
Half a time. Biglang cut off.
parang dun sa verse 8, tapos jump to verse 9, di ba? Buwelo pa lang, biglang,
Wala.
Nag-build up yung power ng beasts, biglang pasok yung Ancient of Days.
Oo. Assurance ito na okay, akala natin napakalakas nito eh. Kasi lumalakas pa siya lalo eh. Nagiging popular siya, maraming sumusuporta sa kanya, yung kanyang power lalo nag-increase, pero biglang abrupt yung ending. Hindi rin pala.
And now let's move on 26 to 28. After, time, times, and half a time, biglang,
Mawawala lahat.
and then
They
yung
will all
dominion
be
niya,
destroyed.
yeah, it'll be taken away, consumed and destroyed to the end. Tapos,
Happy ending.
kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdoms under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. His kingdom shall be an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Which is basically the long version of yung budget version of sinabi nun sa verse 17 and 18 na, ilang, sir, konting details pa po.
I know.
Tapos, 28, yung ending. Here is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my thoughts greatly alarmed me, and my color changed, but I kept the matter in my heart.
Pinakita sa'yo ng Panginoon through that vision, the beasts, and what else would happen in the future, deliverance ng lahat ng holy people. Pero ganito ang naging reaction niya. And it's a very physical reaction. Kasi,
Stress talaga.
stress siya, troubled, yung kanyang mukha na mutla.
I was thinking because he himself has experienced being in a war where you lose and are exiled. So maybe he has an inkling of what happened. There's an experience.
paghuhugutan siya eh.
There's an experience that he's relating to.
Medyo concerned ako dun sa sinabi niyang, I kept the matter to myself. Bakit kaya? Ba't ganun yung naging response niya?
Totoo yan, tinago muna niya eh. Sinarili lang niya. Bakit sasarilihin mo lang isang bagay na nakita mo na ganito?
Yun nga
Nakamangha-mangha.
Maybe the experience was too awesome.
I think so. Minsan pag medyo overwhelming, how do you articulate
Yeah.
this?
Yes.
How do you explain it to
Yes.
others? Matatameme ka na lang eh. Paprocess ko muna to.
Yeah.
Hindi ko pa ito naiintindihan.
He wasn't hasty.
Which we can learn.
Parang,
Oo. Isang bagay na matututunan natin kay Daniel.
Kaya sa pinost agad sa Facebook, ano?
Oo, di ba?
Ang bilis eh.
Kasi kung titingnan natin yung
Live feed eh. No?
timeline ng pagkakasulat ng Book of Daniel, di ba? Nangyari pa to nung panahon, first year of Belshazzar. So, ibig sabihin, nangyari to bago pa siya ipatawag siguro. Kasi di ba si Belshazzar,
Yeah.
yung reign niya natapos after that party itself.
Right.
Eh. So, ang tagal rin hinintay niya na to.
Matagal din. Oo,
Oo.
na bago niya isinulat lahat at inilabas lahat. Oo. May panahon kung kailan mo dapat sabihin sa
I
lahat
think
yung
yun yung gusto
mensahe
kong
ng
ipunto.
Diyos.
Oo. May panahon.
So we went through the whole chapter. I know some people might have gotten lost in some of that, but let's just wrap it up.
Yeah, yung question is, so what?
So what?
I think if we were thinking of present day realities, when we look at the world and it seems as though it is so chaotic or hindi na siya bubuti, I would take comfort in the fact na I would know that my God is still in control. That even if everything else seems to be going down the drain and there seems to be no hope, the Lord is still sovereign. And in the end, His purposes will be accomplished and He will have victory.
Jumping off that, alam mo na yung ending, pero it's also part of the story na may suffering. And it's like, expect that it's going to happen. Kasama to sa kwento eh.
Kasi kung titingnan natin yung the way that Daniel was characterized, he was characterized as a man who had really deep faith in God. Hindi ba? And yet, despite the fact na he had deep faith in God, after he saw all of these visions,
He was stressed out.
yes. So, natural lang siya. Kasi sometimes kapag nasistress tayo sa mga nangyayari, sabi ko, dapat hindi ka ganyan.
Yeah.
Di ba? Parang hindi,
Stoic.
hindi dapat ganyan ng Kristiyano. Ako, I take comfort in the fact na si Daniel, kahit na sobrang mature niya spiritually at ganun ka-strong in relationship niya kay God, ganun pa rin yung naging reaction niya. So, okay lang. Minsan kasi may mga branches of Christianity that says that you should always be positive regardless of what's happening in the world around you.
Parang hindi ka tao, no?
Parang hindi ka tao. Parang hindi mo na-acknowledge yung what you're going through.
Just thinking about yung mga gantong, mga persecution, man. Na-feel ko yung na-feel ni
May
Daniel.
I not live through it?
Okay. Sa ngayon, very remote pa sa ating mga Pilipino yung ganyang experience.
Pwede po bang Panginoon kunin mo muna ako bago ito lahat mangyari?
Although, sa Matthew 5, blessed are you when men persecute you, say all sorts of lies against you on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for great is your reward in heaven. The opportunity to have great reward in heaven through persecution. That, the promise ni Jesus na great is your reward.
Yeah,
if you go through persecution because of me,
Depending on how you
man.
respond.
Reminding us na hindi to yung final place natin. We are being called home.
Meron pa akong isang napansin dito, yung how the state or the government is represented.
So, beasts.
Oo eh. Parang pinakita dito yung concentration ng evil sa government or sa state. At kung ano yung kakayanan nila na mangwasak ng buhay, ng lipunan, ng lahat-lahat. Kapag yung evil is concentrated in the government, nakakatakot. At nakita rin naman natin ito, hindi lang sa history na malapit kay Daniel. Hindi lang. Nangyayari na to dati, nangyayari pa rin ito ngayon.
Hanggang ngayon, yeah. And mangyayari pa rin siya in the future.
At patuloy pa siyang mangyayari until the Ancient of Days puts a
Comes
stop.
back.
Kaya sa akin, ang isang takeaway ko talaga dito, hindi ako magiging panatiko sa kahit kaninong gobyerno.
Right.
Dahil hindi siya ang pinaglilingkuran ko. Kung babalikan natin yung isang episode natin sa misinterpreted verses, sa Romans 13, 1-7,
Submit yourselves
submit to
authority.
governing
Governing authorities.
authorities.
Yeah.
Pero sabi nga natin, dapat intindihin natin to within the context of kung sino sila. They're supposed to be the servants of God. Kapag hindi na nila pinaglilingkuran ng Panginoon, alam mo nangyayari sa kanila, nagiging beasts. Minsan pa nga walang zoological category kasi malalang malala na. Ang sa akin, my loyalty will always be to Yahweh, to God. Siya lang ang paglilingkuran ko. Hindi ko sinasabi hindi ako susunod sa gobyerno. Siyempre, susunod ka. Kaya nga nagbabayad ako ng taxes. Ginagawa ko yung role ko sa lipunan. Pero hindi ako magiging panatiko dyan. Magiging panatiko ako sa Panginoon lang. No? If I may use that term, fanatic.
Yung sinasabi ni Rainier, it reminds me of Psalm 146:3. Put not your trust in princes, in a son of man, in whom there is no salvation. When his breath departs, he returns to the earth. On that very day, his plans perish. Huwag tayong masyadong
Enamored
by human power, by human
by
government,
political
by thinking na,
celebrities.
or even thinking na ito na, this is the answer. Isa sa mga commentary sa binasa ko, yung nilagay niyang title dito sa chapter na to, History is Beastly. One after the other, it's just being replaced by one beast.
Oh, tsaka peppered with
Beast.
violence.
So, pasama yung nakita niya eh. Yung order ng beast.
From one of the commentaries that I read, yung sinasabi dun sa beasts na nga na to, wag tayong maging naive about human history and we shouldn't be so gullible to think na a new regime or a new ideology or a new party, ito na yung mag-instigate ng cosmic therapy, sabi. And yung word dito is cosmic therapy na eto na, this is gonna change things. And dun sa book ni Barbara Tuchman, The First Salute, her book on the American Revolution, meron siyang comment dun, revolutions produce other men, not new men.
Oo nga.
Parang Ecclesiastes lang. There's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, and it's like one beast is just replaced by another beast. And so if we want new men, not just other men, a rebirth has to happen.
Right.
I agree.
Para sa akin, something that's very uplifting and encouraging ay yung assurance that there will be deliverance.
Yeah.
The image of the Ancient of Days coming.
May
right?
deliverance talaga. And judgment is certain.
And there's the need for us to encourage and to pray for one another to always remind us of the picture that the Ancient of Days is nandun talaga siya. Like all these powers will eventually fade, but the Ancient of Days will,
Have a seat,
judgment will
yeah.
be delivered talaga.
And di nga, chill lang siya.
Chill lang.
Sitting down.
It should move us to pray. Na if we were to be in a situation like that, oo, mahirap siya, pero Panginoon, marami pong salamat kasi we know that in the end,
You will triumph.
Yeah.
In the face of a lion, in the face of a bear, in the face of a leopard and some weird Godzilla creature, the one who beats them all is a lamb.
Oh,
The Lamb of God.
That's a
That's
very
a very
good
nice
ending.
contrast.
And we hope na that's going to give us assurance to hold on to that ending. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. God bless you all.
And God bless you guys.
Thank
And
you for
see you
joining
on
us.
Daniel 8.
Thanks for joining us in the UCM Interface Bible Study Podcast. If you want to know more about our ministry, email us at ucminterface@gmail.com. Join us in Union Church of Manila, Rada, Corner Legazpi, Makati City.